Sorry for the jump here. I actually got confused when I was trying to go on to the next part of making these walls so that we can't walk through them. Back in our HTML, I computed the number of tiles across and the number of tiles high that our canvas is. So it's 38 across and 30 tall. And I was using 38 and 30 to compute where the character is at, but 38, 30 is going to be down here in the bottom right corner. So our character is actually in the middle of the screen, which means I need to divide both of these by 2, which threw off part of the video, so I'm erasing that and starting again here. So 38 over 2 equals 17 is middle, and 600 over 20 equals 30, so 30 over 2 equals 15 is the middle, up and down. All right, now we want to create a function. Actually, we're going to create something temporarily that will help us just figure out where this character is on the screen. I'm going to do this little thing that I like to do, which is to create a paragraph that's going to be temporary. We're going to get rid of it in a minute, but we're just going to use it for a short while to help us to see what coordinates our character is at whenever he's walking around. So I'm going to create an empty paragraph with the ID test. And let's go back into the game code, and in the loop we're going to do document.getElementById test .enter HTML is going to equal, well, we want to output the coordinates that our character is at by tiles. So we want to see what tile that our character is walking on. And since the game is putting him in the middle of the canvas, he's going to be at 17 over and 15 down. So let's go ahead and start with that. It's going to be 17, and we're going to put .to string to convert this number to a string, plus 15.to string. And then how do we capture him walking around? Well, remember we used this offset last time, so off x and off y. And as we walk around by pressing the arrow keys, which up and down here as we hold the keys, that changes the values to true. Update. Off x is added or subtracted to, and off y is added or subtracted to. And don't forget that it goes backwards, because the character is stationary, so if we're moving to the right, he's not actually moving at all. He stays in the center of the screen, but the screen behind him is shifting left. And if he goes to the left, the screen behind him is shifting to the right. So we don't want to add the offset, we actually want to subtract the offset since everything's going backwards. So we're going to do minus off x and minus off y. And then also, the offset x and the offset y are going 1 pixel at a time. So this counts minus 40, minus 39, minus 38, minus 37. And we're interested in the tiles, which have a width of 20. So we need to divide by 20. Now I have sirens popping into my video. That's nice. Okay, so whenever we start, we're at 1917. And oh boy, look at that. So we certainly don't want all these decimals, which JavaScript just does on its own. So what we're going to want to do is use the math.floor function. So math.floor just rounds everything down. It essentially just throws away the decimal part. So this 18.95 and 15.85 will become 1815. So here we go. Math.floor. The 17 minus off x over 20, and we're going to do math.floor, this one. How does that look? Oh, that's much better. Right, so now we can see what tile we're standing on. Up here, this should be the tile 0, 0, so let's make sure if we walk over there, we're actually at 0, 0. I'm getting minus 1, 0. So I don't like that, so let's add one more to the x-coordinate. Instead of making this 17, let's make it 18. So now as I'm looking over here, Oh, I'm at 0, 0. Great. Okay, so this gives me the tile that's in this position roughly right here with respect to my character. So in fact, maybe I want to subtract 1 from the y also, because it looks like now he's standing on this upper left corner. I think that should be okay, but yeah, let's add 1 to the y as well. So 18, and let's make this 16. All right, so we don't actually need to print this out, this location of where our character is as far as the tiles are concerned, but it's nice that we know now a formula for what tile that we're standing on. So that's the formula there for x, and that's the formula for y. So let's take these two values. I want this value. Let's pull that out of the toString function. And then I want that value as my y value, and I'll pull that out of the toString function. Let's let this just sit here for a minute. This junk is something I don't need anymore, so let's get rid of that. And then if we go over here, I also don't need this paragraph anymore. So we're not going to keep printing out where our character is standing. And let's take this junk, and I'm going to cut and paste it down to the update function. Here's our update function. Okay, so this should be the coordinates for where the player is standing. And this is also in the update function where we change the offset. So if we're getting off to the edge of the screen, we don't want to change the offset anymore. So let's look at this. If tiles at these two coordinates in fact, we may not want to copy and paste these coordinates over and over again, right? It's going to get kind of tedious. So let's just create some variables here that we'll compute once. So let's put the player x tile equals this MathUpFor function, and let's make this var player y tile. Ooh, those are hard to read. How about p tile y and p tile x? I like that a little bit better. So we'll make that the x and y tile that our player is standing at. And then we're going to check at p tile x and p tile y dot walk. So I'm going to guarantee you this is going to be wrong, but it's going to be kind of close. And this is the kind of thing we're going to want to do. So if we can walk on the tile that the player is standing on, then we're going to adjust the offset. If this is false, that means that we can't walk there, so we're not going to adjust this. Okay, refresh, that paragraph's gone, and we can walk to the right. And as we get pretty close to that wall, oh, good, I can't walk off the wall, but it's kind of funny because I'm walking halfway through the wall and then I'm stuck, and that's because this coordinate p tile x and p tile y is referencing right here, right, this bottom left part of the character. So we may want to add, this is one tile, two tiles, we may want to add a couple tiles to that in the x direction, so let's say +2. And I hope I'm in the right direction based on the offset. Might be the other way around. Oh, nope, there we go. Okay, so now I can't walk through that wall. And then we need to do a similar thing for all the other directions. It's not so hard to do now that we've got that one. And in fact, we don't even need this comment really anymore because we're converting to p tile x and p tile y. Okay, so what about the x offset? We probably just need to do this -1, right? So let's look, instead of here, let's look 1 to the left of the character. And so now as we walk left, he should bump into this wall and not be able to move on. He's actually bumping into these bushes, it looks like, so maybe we don't even need to do -1. Good, now we walk right up to the wall. It's a little funny because he continues walking, but that's alright. I'm okay with that, if you guys are. Now we need to do the y value. Okay, so now we're going up, and since we want to kind of give an effect of 3D, I don't think we want the character's top of his head to be bumping into this wall, right? That's kind of weird. You wouldn't run into the wall with the top of your head. You'd run into it with your body somewhere. So we might want to do something like, well, let's see how this looks, and then we'll adjust based on what this looks like. I think you might be hanging off too much now. Maybe a little too much, so let's go ahead and, let's see, we're doing plus plus. Let's go ahead and do, I think, +1. Should move it down by 1. Nope, I was wrong. Let's go -1. Refresh, and now he should bump into the wall, but not with his head. So he's running into the wall, and it has a slight 3D effect. As we're going down, we're not really doing layering, so he's not going to walk under this wall. Whoop, that wasn't smart, so I'm stuck because I'm off the map, and there is no walk value, so it's just evaluating it as false. But what I'm saying is if I'm walking down here, I can't really walk behind that wall so that it's like right here hiding part of the body and then I'm bumping into it. So what we're going to do is just walk into it with our feet. And here I'm going to guess it is +1. And let's check that out. That's a little weird. Why is he partway through a bush? This might be a little bit more complicated. So let's try nothing at all. He might be walking partway through this wall. Yes, we don't really want that either. And this might have to do with the offset y divided by 20. So because it's a decimal, we might be getting a little bit extra. Let's try adding something to that. Let's go with like +5, because it looked to me like he was about +5 pixels over. And it's hard to get these signs right, so let's go the other way, -5. Pretty close. Let's do a little bit more, maybe -8. It's probably a factor of 10. Yeah, that works well. Let's see how that works whenever he's going up to the top. Hopefully he doesn't walk halfway through this wall. That's good enough. Notice that I can still slide along the wall, so that's nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and point out that this is going to work no matter wherever we put the tiles. So let's go ahead and throw in a random tile that's just like the walls. I'm going to put a tile at, let's just say 21, 21 dot tile x is going to equal 59, and tile at 21, 21 dot tile y will equal 59. So it's pulling out this brick again at 21, 21, and we're going to set tile at 21, 21 dot walk equals false. So we're not going to be able to walk on that tile, and it really didn't like what I did there. because this is called tiles, not tile. There we go. Okay, so there's this one little piece of wall right in the middle of the map, and as you can see, our hit detection is not very good. Or something else is totally wrong. Oh, no, I did feel it there. Okay, so yeah, there we go. That was weird. Alright, so now we can see we have a little bit of a problem. We have to be pretty accurate here. If I'm in this column of bushes with this foot, then I can't walk over it. But if that foot is hanging over into the next column, I can walk right through this brick. So what we actually need to check is a little bit around this one box, not just right above or below it. So we also need to check probably the next one over. Let's see, so pressing down, if this dot walk, so the way that we did it, we're going to also have to say and this one at x plus 1 dot walk, I believe. So let's try that. There we go. So we can improve the accuracy of that a little bit. Now I can get around it. And over here I can get around it. And that's a little bit weird. So I'm closer. Do I need to do 2 tiles? I didn't think he was that wide. Well, that seems to work. It seems to need 3 tiles. All right, so the rest of this then would just be to kind of adjust. So I've got the same problem with up. I can do something very similar there. And we're just going to make these adjustments so that this is pretty accurate. That was the wrong place. Let's go to up pressed. And we want to take this. And we'll do +1 and +2 to make them a little bit wider. Okay, so now if I come around from the bottom, I should run into this as well. Now the question is, are you okay with that on the sides? So I walk in front of it, but it's kind of that 3D effect, so it's not such a big deal. I don't know, it doesn't bother me. We may want it to be just a little bit higher, I guess. How high does it go at the top? I think at the top it goes just about that high. So it looks like it's going to his hands there as we walk sideways. It's about to the height of his boots, a little bit higher than that. Yeah, I think I'm okay with it. All right, so there we go. We've got the hit detection. Ooh, that wasn't good. Okay, yeah, that's not high enough. Let's add 1 block to the top here. So, and we're going to do y + 1. We're going to take this and copy it. And do y + 1. So it works pretty good, but now why are we still getting this weird thing? Because I think we want to do y - 1, not y + 1. Because the y coordinates are different than the x coordinates. And that up is negative. Yeah, okay, here we go. Much better. Okay, there we go. I'm pretty happy with that. Hopefully you guys are happy with that. If you have any questions about anything that happened in the video, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Please go on and create an account if you want. And as I said, you'll see the game up to date with whatever the latest video is since this is the latest video at the moment, you're going to see this. But hopefully in another week or two, you're going to see more progress being made. One thing we certainly need to do is find an easy way to make maps. We don't want to type in one by one what all the tiles are going to look like to make a map, so we're going to make a tool to create our own maps. Alright, well, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll leave the links below that I talked about earlier in the video, and I'll talk to you guys next time.